When someone say narcissist, most people picture the one person who's very loud, the loudest person in the room, always talking about themselves, or they need to be the center of every room. But there is another kind, and that another kind, you don't see it. You won't see it coming. You won't. That is the one that is so much harder to deal with. I'm not a therapist. I want to say that first. I have. What do I have is I've been through with this twice. Two narcissistic relationship of my life, and they were very different from each other, which is exactly why I wanted to make this video. The first one was a guy. That was like 10 years ago, and that was the one that took me very long time to understand. And when I say long time, I just recently realized it after 10 plus years of relationship. So I was young, I was completely in it, and I had no words for what was actually going on. There were so many things that were happening at my life at that time, but I just kept on thinking that something must be wrong with me. And the other one is more like recent thing that just happened, and we are going to talk about the other one today in this video a lot. So 5 things I've noticed, 5 things that I looked completely fine on surface and they were not. 5 things that just look simply okay. But red flag number 1, they made you feel so special and then it becomes a trap. So the first thing, and God, this is so embarrassing for me to say, they made me feel really chosen. This is the tendency for narcissistic people. They make you feel chosen in the first day they see you, or first day they think like, oh, food. And he was very specific with his compliments to me. Not just you're nice, it was you have this energy. You're so different from other people. I feel like I can actually talk to you. I don't make friends easily now, but when it happened to me for the first time, I was just a naive person with literally anyone giving me a tiny bit of affection, I would just fall for it. So when someone literally said that to me, it landed, and it landed hard. What I didn't realize was he was building credit, like he was putting something in a bank. Because later, whenever I needed space and I wasn't fully available, there was this energy of, after everything that I said about you, after how much I value you, this is how you're going to be, this is how you're going to treat me, how could you? And trust me, this was the just energy that I felt. But I was so dumbstruck, so enticed by everything that was happening that I never said that to them. I just felt it, and I thought just because I'm feeling it and there are no words involved, maybe I'm imagining it. And as a people pleaser, when that energy was just given to me, I still started performing. I started dancing on a stage like there was no end, to keep them entertained. I started performing to that person. You start working to keep the version that they think are you. They praised. They said to you in the starting, I think I can talk to you. So you bend for them. You bend so badly that your back started breaking and you don't even know it. And trust me, when you do that, they feel that. They know that. Even if you don't know, they know it. Watch for warmth that spikes when they need something and goes quiet when you do. Watch that. Red flag number 2, every conversation somehow end up being about them. Okay, so this one, I feel this one is the most common for everyone, and people still don't catch it because it is so smooth. I would bring something to them, and something I was going through, something that was bothering me, and somehow within like 5 minutes, I was listening to him. Within 5 minutes, I was listening to that guy giving his version of what happened to me, or giving his version of what he think had happened to them, like their story basically. And my thing was just gone, forgotten, buried completely in depth, not even addressed. And it's not that the person was rude. It was not like that they cut me off. It just shifted plainly, just flipped the switch. His version of whatever I was feeling was bigger, more complicated, more urgent than I would just let it go. I would let go of my problem because that's what I used to do. And I still do sometimes. I'm working on it, okay? Other people's pain. always feel more important to me than my own. That's how I started. That's how I started recognizing that I might have a teeny tiny problem, but it's a bigger problem that I have to start a channel. But I started noticing it. It was every time I would go in with something and I would come out having given something. There was this constant cloud of suffering around him all the time. Everything in this world has happened to that guy. That guy was always the victim. Always the victim. I mean, how can you always the victim? But always something hard was going on with him, always something heavy, and he always needed me specifically to hear it, to for me to notice that he was in pain or he was victimized every time. And look, people go through hard things, okay? I'm not saying that don't share your pain with your friends. I'm not saying that. There is a difference between someone going through something and someone who's just permanently like to live in crisis and needs an audience for it. If you are a people pleaser and you're watching this, I want you to hear me out on this note very clearly. When I say that some you pivot their point to your story, don't take it personal. But what I want you to understand is this is not a pass for you to think of ways you can be narcissist. Red flag number 3, he never said sorry. He gave me an explanation instead. Well, this one took me a while to identify as a problem because the explanation were always so good. Like if something he did and it hurt me, I would say something, right? Never have ever said sorry. That yes, I am sorry. That wasn't okay. What he would do is explain. Explain to me at length about where he was that day, what he was dealing with, how much pressure he was under, and it would be detailed and emotional. And eventually, I would end up understanding him. I would understand him so well that I forgot that I was the one who was hurt. And he would say things like, I thought of all of the people you would understand. And because I wanted to be someone who would understand him, I gave in. I dropped it. I dropped it. And that's the trap with being empath. That's your empathy get used as an exit route for someone who just don't want to be accountable. When I say that real apology is simple, this is how you have to take it. Because real apology is like, I hurt you, I'm sorry. That's it. It does not ask you to understand the full context of why they did it before you allowed you feel bad about it. Red flag number 4, he could not handle my good moments. And this one is also subtle, really subtle. And I only started seeing it after the fact it happened. Whenever something good happened to me, whenever I was excited about something, there was always this slight deflation. It's hard to describe, so he wouldn't be mean about it, but he would just pivot, bring up something that he was doing, or compliment in a way that somehow included comparison. Oh, that's great. My friend actually does something similar. She's quite well known for it, or he's quite well known for it. You should really look him up. And it's said in a very warm tone, very completely casually that you would not even catch it. But when you walk away from them, you feel like your thing just got smaller. Like it would feel like your thing value less. And I started doing something I did not even notice for months. I started playing down my own wins around her. I started cutting the trims off of my things and making things sound smaller than they were. So that I don't know how he didn't have to manage the feeling of someone else having something good. So I was shrinking myself to make him comfortable, basically, and that's it. Such a people pleaser thing to do. And it's such a specific sign. If you are regularly making yourself small around someone, your body start noticing something. Your brain cannot catch it yet. Your brain will take time to understand what is really happening. Red flag number 5. When it ended, I was the one who felt guilty. This one is the one that I don't think people talk about enough. Everyone talk about narcissistic abuse, and I think most people cover it completely, but We need to talk about it. When I finally stepped back from that relationship, I felt terrible. Like I had done something wrong. I kept going over the conversations in my head, thinking, was I too cold? Thinking, did I give up too fast? Thinking, was I being fair to him? And I had nothing concrete, just this slow, quiet weight of I was always giving, and it was just never enough. And I was getting smaller and smaller till I was so tired that I had to leave. No big moment. I feel like I couldn't justify leaving. I needed a good reason enough to leave, but I didn't have it. I didn't have one in words right. So I knew that when it would end, I would be the difficult one in the story. I knew that. I still know that I am the bad one somehow. And but here's what I have learned. You don't need any big reason to leave something that is quietly actually draining you. You are allowed to just feel tired, feel like yourself less and less and less and less over days. That's enough. And it's okay to leave. Look, I'm not saying to go and be suspicious of every person who is nice to you. I'm not saying that this is not what that is. What I'm saying is know yourself well enough that you notice when something feels off, when your inner voice. No, listen to that inner voice when it keep on explaining you away. Start listening to it and a little earlier than someone will take advantage of you or someone will make you feel bad. And don't be like me. I am still working on that, and genuinely it's not like I have figured it all out, but I'm getting better at recognizing the feeling. And that is something big. And if any of this have felt familiar, even one part of it, drop it in the comments. I read everything, I respond to everything. And if you want more of this kind of stuff, I talk about people pleasing, the patterns we fall into, all of it. Subscribe. And if that's your thing, no pressure. Very on brand for me to say that. Take care of yourself, okay? Actually, take care and like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.